in towns such as Blackpool to reduce health inequalities.
Yeah. Mr. Aldous.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stringer. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship. I congratulate my honourable friend, the member for St Ives, for securing this debate. Access to NHS dentistry remains an enormous problem right across England, from his constituency, which is the most westerly, to the Waveney constituency that I represent, which is the most easterly. There is not only a so-called perfect storm, but also a perfect symmetry, which hits hardest the most vulnerable. The government have brought in measures to address this crisis, which have had some partial success, but what is needed is a long-term strategic plan for NHS dentistry, which I would suggest meets the following criteria. Firstly, a secure long-term funding stream. Secondly, a strategic approach to recruitment and retention. Thirdly, replacement of the dysfunctional NHS dental contract. Fourthly, a prevention policy promoting personal oral health care. And fifthly and finally, transparency and full accountability through the new emerging integrated care systems. Mr. Stringer, the issue on which I wish to focus falls in the last of these categories. It is the procurement of NHS dentistry, which at present is opaque and has, over a long period of time, led to some outcomes which are neither in the best interests of local residents nor meet the standards of probity that one is entitled to expect in the award of public contracts. In 2009, the late Dr. David Johnson, a much-loved local dentist with a thriving practice in the High Street in Lowestoft, was refused a contract to continue to offer a service that he had provided the local community for many years. This happened in highly unsatisfactory circumstances that caused much personal upset and ultimately led to units of dental activity being taken away from Lowestoft where they were much needed and reallocated elsewhere. More recently, approximately 2 years ago, a contract was awarded for the out-of-hours service in Norfolk. The company that won the contract still do not have either regular dentists or premises and do not work anywhere near the hours stipulated in the contract. I'll give way to you.
I thank Malcolm for giving way, and he's absolutely right in the points he's making about the challenges that patients face throughout Suffolk in accessing NHS dentistry. But would he agree with me that there is availability of certainly emergency out-of-hours dentistry, but that some companies are not actually taking the correct steps to provide it, and indeed some dentists are not opening up the number of slots they should do, which they're contractually obliged to do, to provide it?
I thank my honourable friend and neighbour for that intervention, and he is correct. And the example I've just provided does illustrate that point. Moving on about the issues with, as I said, the probity of procurement arrangements, I will come forward to the present. It is welcome, Mr. Stringer, that a new long-term NHS dentistry contract has been awarded for the Lowestoft area, and the locally based dental design studio will deliver this contract to a high standard for the benefit of local people. However, before they were awarded the contract, it was initially won by a limited company with no local presence, no dentists, no premises. They then offered the contract to local practices seeking bids initially of £400,000, which they then reduced to £250,000. When they were not able to sell on the contract, they then withdrew from the process. Mr. Stringer, procurement arrangements that allow such blatant profiteering are quite clearly not fit for purpose. There's also a worry that the process is skewed against partnerships, which have been the traditional means for many years of providing primary health care in local communities. Only single legal entities and limited companies are able to tender for NHS dental contracts. Partnerships are excluded from doing so. The feedback that I am receiving is that the tender documents are far from straightforward and discourage some of those local NHS dentists who remain in practice from bidding for contracts. Mr. Stringer, the transfer of responsibility from NHS England to the new integrated care systems, which will be coming into operation in just over a week's time, provides an opportunity to carry out root and branch reform of the procurement and oversight arrangements for NHS dentistry. We need to ensure that these are fair, transparent, and in the best interests of local people. It is vital, sir, that we seize this opportunity. Thank you.
Mark?